Lab Science, we are going to do something called determining your calorie needs. So we're going to walk through this. I'll walk through some of this with the students during class. So the background is, as you have learned, you put food into your digestive system for many reasons. The organic molecules, carbs, lipids, proteins, vitamins, and minerals you eat are absorbed by your body and are used in a wide variety of chemical reactions inside your cells to give you life. One of the most common reactions occurs in your mitochondria, where food molecules, mostly carbs and fats, are broken down to give your cells energy, which is then used to make all your life-giving chemical reactions happen. So that's what it's showing. You can have food, which are your sugar, usually your sugars and fats, and oxygen, which is why we need oxygen. And we go through this respiration. That's what happens in mitochondria. We know them as the powerhouse, or where their energy is coming from, but it happens through something called respiration. So when this happens, when your food reacts with oxygen, you produce CO2, which is what you exhale, and water, and then energy for yourself. If I stopped eating today, there would be no food to give my cells energy to keep their life-giving chemical reactions going. My cells would use stored fats and then my proteins, like muscle tissue, for energy. As days pass by, I would eventually run out of stored molecules and energy, and some cells would begin to die. When enough of my cells had died, I would also die. Without energy, there can be no life. So how much food do you need to eat each day to supply you with enough energy to keep yourself happy and healthy? Let's calculate. These calculations are only a rough estimate of your calorie needs and should not be used to develop a diet plan. You know, like there's how do you eat, how much do you need to eat to stay at the same weight or where you're happy at instead of gaining or losing? How do you just stay? So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out here. So the procedure. First, calculate your basal metabolic rate, your BMR. This is the amount of energy your body needs just to stay alive if you did nothing but laid around in bed all day and didn't move around. Several factors affect your BMR: your sex, your age, your height, and weight. So I'm going to do this as if I am a 150-pound female. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So how much do you weigh? Now, of course, you're going to put your own weight in here. I'm going to do this. I have no idea what you all weigh, so I'm just going to pick a 150 and leave it at that. All right, so then number 2 says convert your weight into kilograms by dividing your weight in pounds by 2.2. So I'm going to take what I used for number 1, that 150, I'm going to put it there. Now when I take 150 and divide it by 2.2, I get 68.2 kilograms, because the rest of the world uses metric. They use kilograms, we use pounds. Now you are not going to put 150 pounds in there unless you just weigh 150 pounds. If you weigh something else, you're going to put that in there. All right, so number 3, since I'm a female, I'm going to do this. If you're a male, you would go and you would do that top part. So I'm going to put my 68.2 kilos in there. If you're a male, you're going to put this number, you're going to put it right there. Now for a female, I'm going to multiply mine by 0.09. If you're a male, it's real easy. It's multiplied by 1. So this and this are going to be the same. But for me, this ends up being 61.4. Number 4, step 4 says multiply the calories you need in 1 hour time, 24 hours, to see how many total calories you need each day. So I'm going to stick, here's my calories needed for an hour, so your number is going to be different than mine. I'm going to stick my 61.4 here. You're going to stick your number that you have, you're going to stick that over there. And I'm going to multiply by 24. Now this is 1,472.7 calories needed each day. So your BMR is, this would be mine as a 150-pound female. Okay, if you weigh different, if you're a male, yours is going to look different. Okay, so I'm going to clear the ink. And it says part B. Okay, you now know how many calories you need just to hang out and do absolutely nothing. That's your BMR. Time to calculate your specific dynamic action, the SDA. This is the number of calories you need to eat, chew, swallow, and digest in your stomach and intestines, the food you put into your mouth each day. Your SDA is easy to calculate. Multiply your BMR times 0.1. All right, my BMR was 1,472.7. You guys are going to use whatever you came up with. So here's my BMR times 0.1 that would be 147.27 calories per day. So my SDA, same number, what I just figured out here. All right. Now part C. Throughout the day, you spend much of your time moving around, talking, writing, etc. These activities, your physical activity energy needs, also require energy and must be included in your calculations. To determine how many calories you need for your physical activities, you must first look at table 1 and pick which activity level best describes you. So you're going to look, are you inactive? You do not contract any muscles throughout the day. Like that is you just doing nothing, laying in bed all day long and not even moving then. Not very active, you watch TV, computer, video games, driving, sitting at a desk, mostly hanging out. Or you average all the activities above, plus you do walk, you carry light loads, working in a restaurant, occasional sports. I'm up walking all day. You guys are at school walking around, maybe that would count. Maybe most of your day is spent on the TV. Whatever it is, you guys are going to put what you want. Some demanding activities, all the activities above, plus some running, lifting, dancing, regular sports activities. And don't forget if you're in PE or if you're doing PE type stuff, like to think about that. Most demanding activities, all the activities above, plus regular aerobic workouts, competitive sports with intense practices. So I would say like if you're in basketball or football or something, or if you're running every day, something like that. All right, so number 2. It's my BMR, which my BMR, I'm going to look back on page 1. I can look back there and see it. My physical activity factor, now for me, I would say I'm probably about a 0.5. So I'm going to multiply that, and I'm going to get 736.35. So my physical calorie needs would be 736.35. Okay, once again, yours is going to look different than mine. All right, now part D. Now let's total everything up to see how many total calories your body requires each day. So my BMR was 1472.7. My SDA was 147.27. My physical activity was 736.35. So the total, all of those up, is 2,356.32 calories per day. So my total calories, 2,356.32. All right, so the total calorie requirement you just calculated is a rough estimate of the number of calories you need to eat each day to maintain your current weight. If you eat fewer calories than this, your body should slowly start to lose a little weight as you begin to use stored fat for energy. If you eat more calories than this, your body may start to gain a little weight as you store the extra calories as fat. Your body stores these extra calories as fat to be used on days when you don't eat enough calories. Now, when you get older, you have other factors that come into play, like your chemicals, whether it be your hormones or whatever else comes into play. And that's, older people, their metabolism goes down a little bit. It's harder for them to lose weight, or you have to eat less to stay where you're at, or eating the right kind of calories. That's another big thing. If I ate all of my 2,000 calories in candy bar, that's obviously going to affect me. So determining how much fat to eat in your diet. Remember that fats are stored in your body for a long-term energy supply. For a healthy diet, it is recommended that no more than 30% of your calorie intake each day should come from fats. Here's how to determine how many grams of fat you should eat each day. So my total calories, so this is not yours, but mine, you'll put in your number here, times 0.03, so that is 706.9. Now they have divided that by 9 calories per gram of fat, so this actually ends up being 78.5 grams of fat you may eat each day. Once again, there are healthy fats and there are unhealthy fats. There are saturated fats, which are not good for you, and there are unsaturated fats, which are better for you. So there are fats that you can eat, you can get your grams of fat in, but it not affect you the same way as those saturated fats, which can clog your arteries and all that good stuff. All right, so completing a diet diary. You now have an estimate of your calorie needs and fat needs in a day. Do you actually follow these guidelines as you eat? To find out how many calories you eat in a day and grams of fat you swallow, complete a diet diary for 2 days. Record everything you eat and drink, not water. Water doesn't count. And the servings of each. A serving of most things like potatoes or corns is about 1/4 of a cup. So keep that in mind. Kind of try to visualize what 1/4 of a cup is. So if you eat 1/2 a cup, maybe write down that you're about 1/2 a cup. 1/4 of a cup really is not a lot. And we as Americans tend to eat more in a serving than 1/4 of a cup. When you have completed your diet diary, you can look up the calories and fat grams of foods you ate in class, Bon Appetit. So what I'm going to have the kids do is for 2 days, starting today, starting on Monday, I'm going to say starting Tuesday morning, start keeping track of what you're eating. So day 1, that would be Tuesday. You're going to write down all of this, serving or pieces, like, so if you eat for lunch, you have pizza, tell me if you had 1, 2, 3 slices, what did you have? If you had a cheeseburger, did you just have 1? Now, don't worry about total calories or grams of fat. We can look that up later, unless it is like you ate a candy bar and you can look at the wrapper and put that down, go ahead. And then we have day 2, which would be Wednesday. You're going to go through and do all of this. And then on Thursday, we'll sit down, we'll look at everything, we'll start to get on the computer and look up calories and food and all of that. And then we'll see what your totals are for both of those days. All right, so if you need anything, let me know, and have a great rest of your day.